أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed shaitan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. And we send salutations and much praises upon the Prophet Muhammad, the messenger of Allah. Peace and blessings be upon him and on his family, those who aided him, the companions, and those who followed them until the day of resurrection. Picking up with the legendary military ideology of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the era of Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, after completing the legendary military career of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Madanite period, on Muhammadu Gambia channel, as well as the legendary military legacy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the same channel, as well the era of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, I do apologize, as well as the legendary military governance or government of Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab, also on the Muhammadu Gambia channel, as well as the legendary military nation or legendary military empire, whichever suits best, the era of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the military empire, that is, with the era of Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan. And now we're on the era of Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, page number 66. 1.5.1, Imran ibn Hussein. He sent word to the people discouraging both parties from engaging in fighting. Then he sent word to Banu Adi, a large group of whom had joined Az-Zubayr. His envoy came and said to them in their mosque, open quote, I have been sent to you by Imran ibn Hussein, the companion of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to advise you. He swears by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, besides whom there is no other God, that he would rather be an Abyssinian slave with a cut-off nose tending goats at the top of a mountain until death comes to him than to shoot an arrow against either of these two parties, whether it misses or hits its target. So refrain from fighting. May my father and mother be sacrificed for you. End quote. The people said, leave us alone, for we will never abandon the wife of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ka'b ibn Sur 1.5.2. He was one of the senior tabi'un. He did his utmost and pushed himself beyond his limits, playing a role that many men would be unable to play. He persisted in striving to bring about reconciliation until the thing that he was trying to prevent happened. He died as a victim of his efforts, slain as he stood between the two armies, calling each to put down their weapons and refer to the book of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, the Quran, for judgment. 1.5.3, Al-Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi. Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu sent Al-Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi radiallahu anhu on a mission of reconciliation to Talha and Az-Zubayr, instructing him, open quote, meet with these two men, call them to brotherhood and unity, and warn them of the seriousness of differences and divisions. So Qaqa went to Basra and he started with Aisha radiallahu anha. He said to her, what has brought you to Basra, O my mother? She said to him, O my son, we have come for the purpose of setting things straight among the people. Al-Qaqa asked her to send word to Talha and Zubayr, asking them to come, and he spoke to them in her presence. The discussion between Al-Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi and Talha and Zubayr ibn al-Awwam radiallahu anhum. When they came, he asked them why they had come, and they said the same as Aisha radiallahu anha said, we have come for the purpose of setting things straight among the people. He said to them, tell me in what way are you going to set things straight? For by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, if we agree with you, then we will join you in your efforts. And if we disagree with you, we will not join you. They said the murderers of Uthman must be executed. If they are left alone and are not punished in accordance with the Quran, this will be forsaking the Quran and disregarding its rulings. If the prescribed punishment is carried out on them, this will be keeping the Quran alive. Al-Qaqa said to them, in Basra there were 600 of the murderers of Sayyidina Uthman, and you killed them all except one man, namely Harqus ibn Zuhair as-Sa'adi. When he fled from you, he sought protection with his people in Banu Sa'ad. When you wanted to seize him from them and kill him, his people prevented you from doing that. 6,000 men got angry for his sake and deserted you and stood against you as one. If you leave Harqus alone and do not kill him, you will be abandoning your principles and what you are calling others to and demanding Ali to do as well. But if you fight Banu Sa'd because of Harqus and they overwhelm and defeat you, then you will have come to the opposite of what you are trying to achieve. You will have made them stronger and you will be greatly harmed. By going after Harqus, you are angering Rabi'a and Mudar in this land, as they have come together to fight. I suppose these are names of tribes, to fight you and defeat you in support of Banu Sa'd. This is what happened with Ali and the murderers of Uthman who are in his army. The solution, according to Qaqa, he advocated deliberation and calming things down first, then carrying out the prescribed punishment. The mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu anha, and those who were with her were influenced by the logical argument of Al-Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi. She said to him, open quote, "So what do you suggest, Qaqa?" He said, "I say that the best thing is to calm things down. It is essential to give it time until the murderers of Uthman are brought to justice. Then, when the division has ended, and the Ummah is united behind Amirul Mu'mineen, he will be free to deal with the killers of Uthman. If you give your allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu and support him, this will be a good sign and a blessing, and Ali radiallahu anhu will be able to avenge Uthman. But if you refuse and continue to be stubborn and insist on fighting, this will be a bad sign and will lead to the diminishing of the Muslims' power. So be on the side of caution and be the means of good as you have always been. Do not expose us to ruin, because that will affect you too, and Allah Jalla Jalaluhu may bring about our doom and yours. By Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, I say this and call you to it, and I am worried lest we do not reach any agreement before Allah Jalla Jalaluhu brings destruction upon this ummah, which has lost a great deal and been stricken by calamity." Well, here we are today. We're definitely there. What has befallen, it is very serious. It is not like one man killing another, or a group killing a man, or even a tribe killing a tribe. They were end quote, they were convinced by the sincere and persuasive words of Al-Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi and agreed to his call for reconciliation. They said to him, open quote, "You have spoken well, go back, and if Ali radiallahu anhu comes and tells us to the same as you have said, the matter will be settled insha'Allah," end quote. So Al-Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi went back to Ali in radiallahu anhu in Duqa'ar, having succeeded in his mission, and told Ali about what had happened. Ali radiallahu anhu was pleased with that, and the people were about to reach a peaceful conclusion regardless of who approved or disapproved. Good signs of a deal between the two parties. When Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi went and told Ali radiallahu anhu what had happened, Ali radiallahu anhu sent two envoys to Aisha, Talha, and the people who were with them to verify what Qaqa ibn Amr had said. They came to Ali radiallahu anhu and told him that they were still agreeing with what Qaqa had said. So Ali radiallahu anhu set out and came to a halt near them. And the members of various tribes on each side met with one another. Mudar with Mudar, Rabia with Rabia, Yamanis with Yamanis. None of them had any doubt that a peace deal was imminent. They camped close to one another and went out to meet one another, and they did not talk about anything except the peace deal. Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu decided to move on, and he announced his important decision. I will leave tomorrow, so leave and go back, meaning to Basra. No one should come with us tomorrow who contributed to the murder of Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu in any way whatsoever. 1.6 The outbreak of fighting. 1.6.1 The role of the Saba is in the outbreak of the fighting. In the camp of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, there were some of those evildoers, Iblisis and rebels who had killed, martyred Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu. There were those who were not known by name, those who were known but were protected by their tribes, those concerning whom there was no evidence about their role in the murder of Sayyidina Uthman, and those who had hypocrisy in their hearts but were not able to show it openly. The followers of Ibn Saba were eager to fan the flames of fitness so that they could avoid justice. When the people had settled down in their camps, Ali radiallahu anhu came out, as did Talha and Az-Zubayr. They met and spoke about which they had differed on, and they did not see anything better than reconciling and giving up war when they saw that things were becoming clearer. They parted on that note. Ali radiallahu anhu returned to his camp, and Talha and Zubayr radiallahu anhuma returned to theirs. Talha and Zubayr sent word to the commanders of their army, and Ali radiallahu anhu sent word to the commanders of his army, apart from those who had besieged Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan. The people went to sleep intending to reconcile and avoid trouble, and they did not doubt that there would be a peace deal. They were close to one another, going out to meet one another and not talking about or planning anything but reconciliation. Those who had been behind the turmoil spent their worst night ever because they felt that the end was looming for them. They spent the entire night in discussion, and one of them said, as for Talha and Az-Zubayr, we know where they stand, but as for Ali, we did not know where he stands until today. That was when he told the people to move on the next day, but none of those who had helped in the murder of Sayyidina Uthman in anywhere were to move with them. And by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, the people's view concerning us is the same. If they reconcile, then their agreement will be to shed our blood. End quote. Ibn As-Sauda, Abdullah ibn Saba, who was the leader, spoke and said, open quote, O people, your opportunity will be when the people from both camps are mixing. Show kindness to them, and when the people meet tomorrow, start the fight and do not give them any time to think. The one whom you are with will have no option but to defend themselves. Allah will distract Ali, Talha and Az-Zubayr, and those with them will be distracted from that which you hate. So think about it and then disperse without making the people suspicious about you. So they agreed to start the fight secretly. The next morning they came when it was still dark, and their neighbors were unaware of what they were doing. Those from Mudar went to their counterparts from Mudar. Those from Rabia went to their counterpart from Rabia. Those from Yemen went to their counterparts among them from their fellow Yemenites. Then they attacked them, and the people of Basra started fighting back. So, again, Yemen went to their counterparts among their fellow Yemenis. They attacked them, and the people of Basra started fighting back, each group fighting those who attacked them. As Zubair, Talha, and some prominent figures from Egypt came out and sent word to the right flank, who were from Rabia, led by Abdurrahman ibn Al-Harith ibn Hisham. And the left flank was led by Abdurrahman ibn At'ab ibn Usaid, while they remained steadfast in the center or the core. They said, "What is this?" They said, "The people of Kufa attacked us this night. We knew that Ali would not give up until he shed blood and transgressed the sacred limits, and that he is not going to agree with us." Then they retreated with the people of Basra, and the people of Basra shot arrows at those who attacked them until they pushed them back to their camps. Ali radiallahu anhu and the people of Kufa heard the noise. The Saba'is had planted a man close to Ali radiallahu anhu so that he could tell him what they had wanted him to hear when he said, "What's going on?" That man said in response, "We have been taken by surprise. Some of them attacked us at night and we pushed them back." Ali radiallahu anhu said to his commander on the right flank, "Stay on the right flank." And he said to his commander on the left flank, "Stay on the left flank." The Saba'is continued their efforts to keep the battle raging. Despite the way the battle began, the two sides did not rush to fight until they found out what happened. Ali radiallahu anhu and those who were with him all agreed not to start fighting until the other side started, so as to establish that they were the wrongdoers. Even if they engaged in fighting, they agreed they would not kill anyone who was running away and would not finish off anyone who was wounded. But the Saba'is were trying hard to instigate the fighting. Inshallah, we will end this one here on page number 72. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسم ربك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.